Hi everyone, Betsy Lane here with Usborne Books and More to share with you some great bedtime stories or anytime stories, but these are some favorites in our house. I want to start with I'm a Dirty Dinosaur and our newer release, I'm a Hungry Dinosaur. Both of these feature a little dinosaur and his little bird friend, and they have great rhythm and great rhyme and just fun little stories. I'm a dirty dinosaur with a dirty snout. I never wipe it clean. I just sniff and snuff about. Sniff, sniff, snuff, snuff, sniff and stuff about. So this dinosaur goes throughout the whole book, just getting dirtier and dirtier. Awesome illustrations. They're done with real mud. So just a really fun, silly, great bedtime story. And Hungry Dinosaur, similar rhythm and rhyme. And the illustrations here, though, are done with cake batter, flour, sprinkles. So just another really cute, fun little bedtime story or anytime story. Similar illustrations, but just these are two real favorites in our house. Another great one for before bed is I Love You Animally, and it just goes through very sweet, calm, soothing story. I love you hugely like a whale. I love you shyly like a quail. I love you cleverly like a fox. And it just keeps going through lots of different animals. This one my husband has actually commented on. This is a favorite of his. And at the very end, after it goes through all the different animals, I love you so, I love you birdily, buggily, animally, I love you so for you're my family. So this is a really sweet one for before bed. It's always a great idea to get your child used to poetry, and this is a new release from Usborne, Cookie Crumbs, Poems and Praise of Dizzy Days. And it kind of outlines some of those silly holidays that have popped up recently over the years. For example, a poem about National Weather Person's Day or Inventor's Day. A Bicycle Built for 10, a cute little poem. Change a Light Day. So just some great little poems to get kids used to reading poetry. Simple poems, pretty easily understood. So this is a great one, Cookie Crumbs. Also, along the story route, we have A Tale of Two Beasts. This is kind of two books in one. You have the story told from the perspective of the young girl who finds this terrible beast in the forest, and she takes him home. And then the second half of the book tells the story from the perspective of the terrible beast, and what he thinks of being found in the woods and taken home to live in a house. So great story for getting kids thinking about how there's two sides to every story. Some great classical literature from Usborne. This is one of our fairy tales. This is Cinderella. My daughter says that this is not the real Cinderella. She's used to the Disney version, but this is great for exposing children to the many, many different tellings of different stories. In this series, we also have Jack and the Beanstalk, the Robin Hood, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I'm looking at my list here. So there's just a handful of different stories in this series, but great tellings of classical fairy tales. And then we also have some great collections of books. This is Aesop's Stories for Little Children. It's a great collection of, I believe, 9 of some of Aesop's best stories. Great wording and telling for little children. Simpler versions of some of Aesop's most famous stories, The Tortoise and the Hare, it's the Fox and the Crow, I want to say. The Fox and the Crow, The Ant and the Grasshopper. So just some of those great lesson learning stories. And another collection I want to share with you very quickly. This is Illustrated Stories for Children. This is a collection of, I believe, 21 different stories, so a great big book. It has a very, very wide variety of stories, from some traditional literature, Rapunzel, The Princess and the Pea, a version of The Little Mermaid is in here. There's also Treasure Island, And then there's also just some silly different stories, robot racers for your kind of fantasy loving kids. And I saw in here, here's Rapunzel. And I saw in here a version of, here's some of the illustrations from The Little Mermaid, really, really pretty illustrations. I saw in here a great story of a little boy who was scared of the monster under his bed. And as it turns out, the monster was hiding under his bed because it was such a teeny monster. It was the only place he could hide, so, you know, he wouldn't be frightened by other things. So just some great stories for reading before bed or reading anytime. I hope you saw something there that you like.